My name is Lindsey. I'm a nurse educator at Jackson Hospital. I started at Jackson as a new grad. And I had a set plan. I was going to work on a step-down unit for a year. I was going to go to ICU and be an ICU nurse for eternity. But when I started at Jackson, I started on 3 West, which is the cardiac step-down unit, and I fell in love with it. I'm one of your typical new grad stories. I went through orientation. I probably got a shorter orientation than what I needed, but my coworkers, they kept me there. They looked out for me when I came off of orientation. And I fell in love with orienting new nurses. Every new nurse, every nursing student, they'd always ask me, they'd say, do you want to precept a new nurse? Please, 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 we need you. I'm like, of course I do. I loved that stuff. I loved teaching. I loved watching them get it, have those aha moments where everything kind of clicked together. And I think that's what gave me a passion for nursing education. Never ever thought I'd be a teacher. I became the clinical educator on 3 Tower for, again, telemetry and progressive care. And I loved doing that. That's probably my favorite job that I've had to this day, just because it was the floor that I loved, the floor that I started on. I got all of our new nurses coming through. I got to teach classes things that in nursing school you just thought, I'll never understand this. EKG classes, for instance. Everyone always dreads EKGs, but I ended up teaching those classes and I loved it. It's one of those things they tell you in nursing school, never say never. Well, they're right. But it's really just, even if possible, it just increased my love for education. And the nurse residency program was started at Jackson, and I was one of the clinical educators that was really pushing for that program. And then the 2 coordinators moved on to teach in a college. And so that position came open, and I went immediately to our chief nursing officer and I said, I want this, I want this. I am your nurse resident. I'm the new grad that started here and stayed here because of the support that I received. And now I get to bring in all of those new nurses, and I have them for a year, and I meet with them once a month, and I get to talk with them about their struggles. I get to talk about how they're feeling overwhelmed. I get to fix issues that come up, but I get to work with them every single day. And as much stress as nursing has in it, the field is very stressful. Healthcare is very stressful to be in right now, but it's completely worth it. And I thought that I would always need to work at the bedside to have that validation, but I've found that same passion that nurses pour into their patients. I found my passion in pouring into new nurses. Nursing for me was kind of one of those things. It chose me. I had my plan. When I was a senior in high school, I was going to be a mechanical engineer. I would have been wasted as a mechanical engineer. I don't even like math, so I don't even know what I was thinking. So I went back to my first love, which was medicine. And the reason I chose nursing over medicine was because you have that care aspect. And I got to spend time with patients. I would say, if you want to make a difference in the world, nursing is a good career path to do that. I love having a family at Jackson. I love having a work family where I can come, and even though it's time away from home, away from my family, I'm rewarded because I work with people day in and day out that really care about what they do. And we care about one another. And when one person is having a bad day, we're gonna pick them back up. And maybe we all have a bad day together, but that's okay because we're a team. And sometimes families do have bad days together, and sometimes you argue, but ultimately you're all out for one purpose because you care about each other and you know that what you're doing is making an impact in the world. My name is Lindsey Ryll, this is my story, and this is my hospital.